Okay, here we go. Friday yoga, or whenever you're tuning in with lots of creatures. So today we're continuing our chakra series with the third chakra, Manipura. This is the color yellow, even though we're always wearing purple in this yoga class. Purple. Um, so we started with the root chakra, Muladhara, and then we went to the second solar plexus, Svatisthana, and now we're looking at the third chakra kind of starts just above the navel and it goes up to the breastbone. So it's the space kind of like the diaphragm area, which we use so much with our breath, right? And it's really focused on igniting our inner fire. And so that can be kind of like that personal power, that tejas, that kind of fire, and also our digestive fire, which in Sanskrit is called Agni. Today, we're going to think about, kind of that like the self-esteem, the warrior energy, tejas fire, especially because we're experiencing this super cold spell. I thought it would be good to kind of work on some core heat and some warrior sequences. And the idea is that, thinking about the power of transformation, that we're worthy and we're inherently powerful and capable with this infinite capacity and ability to connect to that kind of universal that we talk so much about in Anusara yoga. So to begin, I invite you to take your seat in Sukhasana or Tadasana. You can roll your thighs in, create space in the lower back so that you can lengthen the spine and invite prana to begin flowing. I'm going to scoot back and just model that seat as well. And we're going to start with a pranayama for just a couple minutes. Pranayama is breath work. And we're going to do a fire breathing practice since we're focusing on that inner fire, that tejas, and it's called Kapalabhati. And so this is where you inhale really deeply through the nose, and then you exhale through the nose in short, sharp pulses. So like and you'll really feel it pulsing in your diaphragm. And then you can take a full breath when you need and then repeat. So I invite you to close your eyes, keep them soft. Just settle for a moment before we move into that breath work. Find your seat. You can have the hands resting, palm facing down, draw the shoulders up towards the ears and back to feel your heart and space in the solar plexus opening. Tuck your chin just a little and keep the eyes closed or soft. Keeping the eyes soft means that we look through the heart rather than through the mind. And just allow the breath to flow for a moment, naturally. Bringing your attention to the solar plexus, the area above the navel, up through the breastbone. You can even take one of your hands, or both, and place them in that space, just to connect with that inner power, to begin connecting. Where we put our intention is where our mind, where our heart follows. So putting our intention on that inner fire is a good way to start. And then we're going to start this fire breathing. So take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale short pulses. Whenever you need to, take a full cleansing breath and then repeat. And finish this last round. And then allow your breath just to settle and resume its natural rhythm. You can keep your hands on the diaphragm, the belly. And just begin to feel that energy moving, opening the third chakra with our intention and our breath. Slowly release your hands down and you can open your eyes. Welcome again. We're going to come to lie on the back and we're going to do a little bit of core work before we move into some of the warming up poses. So this is kind of warming up, but it's warming up the core more than the big muscles in the body like we often do. So I'm going to commit to this practice and my belief that we will create fire by taking my socks off. And we're going to do a core twist. So when you lie on your back, you can start with the feet just hip width apart and by the hips, and take your hands and clasp them behind your head. And just breathe for a moment here. We're going to take both legs and straighten them so that the soles of the feet are facing the sky. And then we're going to do an opposite. We're going to do it like basically we're going to lower one leg. So it's just a few centimeters off the floor. And that same side, so my left leg's lowered, so my left arm is going to come on the outside of my right leg, and I'm going to lift up, already feeling my core engaging, keeping my right hand behind the head. Breathe there for a moment. You might feel some shaking, getting this fire started, and then we're going to switch. Left hand behind the head, right leg lowers, left leg lifts, right arm outside of left leg. And I'm moving a little slowly to show you the action. You can also do this at your own pace. So we're going to do this 10 times. So follow your own pace. Maybe you want to move really fast. Maybe you want to move a little bit more slowly, allowing a little bit more heat to burn in between movements. You're shaking, just means you're human, which I think is a good thing. So we'll do that 10 times. We'll definitely get some tejas in the process. And that will help us as we move through beginning to warm up the big muscles in the body. So keep doing that, moving through, coming to do that 10 times. And when you have completed 10, we're going to still lie on the back, take the hands to the knees. And allow the knees to draw you forward, so your arms are straight. And you just rock from side to side. Just release a little bit in the back. You know, that intense muscular energy that we're using to engage the core. And then bring your feet down, roll to your right side, use your hands to come back to a seated position, and we'll come to table pose. And again, moving that heat through the body, the heat that we just started creating in that supine core twist. So come to table, find your foundation, hands shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart, toes curled under. And then draw the core in, lots of core here for that fire in the solar plexus. Create a neutral spine, soften beneath the shoulders. And then tilt the pelvis forward to bring your gaze forward into cow. Inhaling deeply and exhaling into cat. Move through cow, cat a few times in your own rhythm. And then finishing this last round of cat, we're going to come back to that neutral space. And again, focusing that intention on Manipura, solar plexus. Engage your core. We're going to do opposite arm leg extensions, reaching the arm, right arm forward, left leg comes back. You might feel a little bit of shakiness as you're really reaching out. So use that muscular energy to hug your intention to the center. Drawing the right arm bone into the socket, the left leg hugs in towards the hip. And then exhale, lower down. Left arm, right leg. Hug it in. Feel that centering, that strength, that inner power that comes when we focus our intention in Manipura. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Right arm, left leg. And lower. One more time, left arm, right leg. The farther we get from our center, we can start to get a little wobbly. We lose that sense of self. So when we hug it in, we engage our core, our inner fire, we can remember that we have that infinite capacity to achieve anything. I really believe that's true. So take the left foot off the mat 45 degrees. The right leg comes to stretch long. Outer edge of the right foot lining up with the short end of the mat. And you can feel your heart already wanting to open. So lift your right arm up. Modified side plank. And again, hug it in. Draw your right foot towards your knee, to the hand. Create that stability so you can reach up. Even drawing the head back in a little bit of back bend. And then exhale, come down and do the other side. Take the right foot off the mat. 45 degrees, left foot stretches long. And open and lift. Open the heart, gazing up. Your lifted hand. Hug your energy in so you're still centered. And then soften just a little. That organic energy. Touch the infinite to which we are connected. And exhale, release. Coming back to table. We'll take the hands as wide as the mat and come to downward facing dog. Maybe it's your first dog of the day. So take a moment to settle and find your foundation in this space. Give your heart a moment to soften and open. And then draw the right thigh back and bend the left knee, tilting the pelvis forward. Create that curve in the lumbar spine. And then reach the left thigh back. Right knee bends. This is walking the dog. You can do this slowly, you can move quickly. Part of this connecting to our Manipura, our inner power, is honoring what we feel drawn to if it serves us. It's also knowing what to maybe step away from because it's not healthy. Return to center, soften from the heart. Bend the knees and tilt the pelvis forward, widening the sitting bones, and then reach the hips really high, straighten the legs any amount. Gaze between your hands and hop. Walk forward to meet the hands in Uttanasana. Soften the shoulders, bend the knees. Bring the hands to shins or up on fingertips to bring the heart forward. Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, release down. Root the mound of the big toe down into the earth, creating that inner spiral. And breathe. Release the hands to the hips, bend the knees, engage your core, that solar plexus space. And from the inside power, rise up, reaching the arms all the way up to the sky, Urdhva. Bring the hands to the heart and release down, Tadasana. I'm cutting off my head here, so I'm going to move back just a little bit. Stand tall in Tadasana. Find your foundation, root the four corners of your feet down, bend the knees. Just soften the jaw. Fingers spread wide. And for a moment, bring the hands back to the solar plexus. Inhale deeply through the nose. And exhale pulses through the nose. Just the one time, and then take a full cleansing breath. Yoga can be a practice of remembering. We forget often, and so we come back to our practice to remember. In this practice, we're remembering that we have that inner fire through some intentional breath work and asana reminders as well. Release the hands down, draw the shoulders onto the back, release the knees a little bit. Hug the core in, but not so much that you round the back. So make sure you've got that inner spiral in the thighs to get the curve, and then hug in just a little bit. Lift the heart, draw the throat back. Feel your spine grow long up through the crown of the head. Inhale. Feel that fire move through the body, and then sweep the arms up. Urdhva-hastasana, and exhale. Dive down to meet the feet at Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back, plank pose. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. You can hover above the earth for a moment, and then lower all the way down. Take the tops of the feet flat. Rock the hips from side to side to create inner spiral again. Hands come beside the lower ribs. Spread the toes wide. And press your knees and toes into the earth. Draw your hands towards your toes so your heart lifts up and engage your core. Here in this space, draw your hands towards your feet a little bit more. See if you can get a little bit more height and length in the spine. And curl the toes under, push back, downward facing dog. In dog, inhale, your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, rock forward, knee to nose. Inhale, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to left elbow. Inhale again, right leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to right elbow, then left, then straighten and push the leg all the way through. So you're up on the outer edge of your right foot. You come to the inner edge of the left foot and lift the hips up to the sky. Lift the left arm up to the sky. Side plank twist. Feel a little fire here in the hips. Keep your head lifted, your neck in line with your spine so you're collapsing. And then exhale, release the right leg back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Draw up to a baby cobra or an upward facing dog. Draw your hands towards your feet, lengthen the spine. Keep breathing. Tuck the toes under. Come back to downward facing dog. And we're going to do that on the left side. Inhale, the left leg up to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose, rock forward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, knee to right elbow. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, knee to left elbow, then right, and then push the leg all the way through, up in the outer edge. Inner edge of the right foot, lift the hips, open your heart to the right with the right arm up. Strong. Your hips and your left arm looking up, perhaps to gaze at your lifted hand. Feel that heat, feel that fire. That is your power. And it's coursing through you, vibrating beautifully. Exhale, lower down, and you can come to child's pose for a moment. Knees together, arms behind, palms facing down, or knees apart, big toe touching, arms forward. Focus your energy on that space of Manipura, that inner power, that light. And allow your body to catch up for a moment with your breath with your body. Then coming back to downward facing dog. We'll bend the knees, gaze between the hands, and hop or walk forward to Uttanasana. Hands up on fingertips or on the shins. If your hamstrings are still tight, you can bend the knees a little bit so you get that curve in the lower back. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, release down. Release the hands to the hips, bend the knees, press the big toe mound down into the earth, and come to rise up. Nashistasana. Inhale the heart towards your hands and exhale, Anjali Mudra. The hands come down to the heart and then release down. Find your foundation. Find that inner fire and connect with it. Mind, body, spirit. Connecting our hands there to bring our intention to that space. Close your eyes for a moment and even visualize flame. Release the hands and inhale. Sweep the arms up to the sky, Nashistasana. Fly down to meet the feet in Uttanasana. Inhale the heart forward. Exhale, step the right leg back, runner's lunge. Find your foundation in runner's lunge, hugging the feet together energetically. Draw the left hip back so your hips are square. Bring the heart forward just a little bit. Take the arms sweep behind you with the palms facing up, and then sweep the arms up to high lunge. Feeling that fire flame all the way up into the fingertips. Hug the core in just a little bit. Sweep the arms back, a little bit of a back bend. And then bring the hands to your heart center. And you're going to take your right elbow to the outside of the left knee in a twist. I'm going to just turn around so that you can see me. So left leg is forward, right leg is back, right elbow on the outside of the left knee, and you can push the elbow into the knee and the knee resists to give you a little bit more fire, a little bit more stability in your foundation. Anjali Mudra arms, and then maybe even opening the arms to just show the world that fire, and maybe even share a little bit of light. Sanskrit, Manipura means lustrous gem. Open your heart. Bring the hands back together, and then returning to center, you can step the left leg back and reach the right leg forward. Then I'm just going to turn around so you can see me again. Runner's lunge on the other side. Sweep the arms back, palms facing up, and inhale. Rise up, high lunge. Root into the space. Turning your right knee just a little bit, so it's just turning out towards the pinky toe and not collapsing in. But keep rooting in the mound of the big toe so you don't lose your foundation. And that anchor to the earth as well. Otherwise, we might just be this ball of light that flies out into the universe. We want to keep that connection to the earth for now. Then exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And take the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Keep rooting the four corners of the foot into the earth. Push or press your left elbow to the knee. The knee resists. And that allows us to keep our foundation and twist. Maybe opening the arms. Lifting the corners of the mouth. And really embodying that beautiful fire, that beautiful light that you are. Inhale. And exhale. Release. Step back, downward facing dog. And pause. You can walk the dog. Feel that heat, that vibration, light moving through you. And on an inhalation, reach your right leg up to the sky. Then sweep the right leg forward and walk the left foot in. So maybe a third of the way. I'm going to face you. This is Parshvottanasana. And this is a really big hamstring opening, and also a way to connect with the space of Manipura and the solar plexus. But to begin, we're going to turn the left toes out about 45 degrees or even a little bit less. And then you want to take and root your right hip back and draw the left hip forward so the hips are square and your heart is aligned with the right leg. Hands can come up on fingertips. If you have blocks, this is a good time to use blocks. Especially if you have a tight hamstring, you can get up a little higher. Or if you're at home and in lockdown, and you've got some hardcover books, those can be helpful too, we found, using what we have. And then we're going to draw the heart forward, and at the same time, try to a little bit tilt the pelvis forward. If your hamstring's really tight, you can bend the front knee just a little bit. And on the exhale, bow. And in that bow of reverence, we offer ourselves to Manipura, to that inner light. We take 5 really cleansing breaths here. And then come forward. And you can step the right foot back. Just pedal the knees. You take the hips from side to side just to release a little bit. That was a lot of intention. Big opening. Inhale, lift the left leg up. And we'll do this on the other side. Sweep the left leg forward. The toes are pointing towards the short end of the mat, and we'll walk the right foot in now, about a third of the way. My toes they're turning out of the diagonal, but not like a really big diagonal. And that helps me to bring my right hip forward and draw the left hip back so the hips are square with the front short end of the mat. And just settle into this space. I have this literal bright shining light coming in. I can feel the heat, which is really awesome on this cold winter day. So inhale. As you inhale, bring the heart forward and lengthen. Tilt the pelvis forward just a little bit so you don't lose that little bit of curve in the inner spine. And then on the exhale, you can fold and bow. And breathe. And on the next inhale, bend the left knee, step the right foot forward to Tadasana. Bend both knees, release the hands to the hips, draw the shoulders onto the back, hug your energy in the solar plexus, and use that light, that force to rise up. Hastasana, reaching for the sky. Bring the hands to your heart center, release the knees, and release the hands. Tadasana. Take a full cleansing breath. And take a moment to just check in with the body. Do you feel some heat, some vibration of energy, of tejas, that light? That's our power. And I think we have it burning in us at all times, but there are definitely moments, I know that I've experienced, where that flame has been kind of tamped down, maybe by people in my life that don't have a healthy impact on my sense of self, or maybe I've done it, trying to please someone else, kind of forgetting myself in the process. And we can step onto the mat and we can remember. We can feed that flame so that it burns brighter. So we're really honoring our inner power, our lustrous light. Take a moment and just wave your arms, sweeping the flame, just gently, right? With too much heat, and that can also not be healthy. So it's really about creating a balance. And return to center. Remember your foundation, feet hip width apart and parallel, rooting down the big mound of the big toe. Create that inner spiral. Hug the core in, lift the heart. Shoulders come back. We're going to sweep the arms up to the sky. And then we're going to take, you can see me, the right hand to the left wrist. And reach, 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 lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. And then exhale and bow to the right. Each inhalation can be a lengthening, and each exhalation a bowing. Bringing the feet into the earth, connecting the flame to the earth. We have that power coming up from a very sacred, strong place. And inhale, return to center. Release, switch. Left hand to right, wrist, lengthen, and fold. Keep the hips square to the front. And open the right armpit, so you're keeping the heart open even as you inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold. And then inhale, return to center. Release the arms down. We're going to come to take a wide stance. Paralleling the feet, making sure the outer edges are lined up with the short end of the mat. The hands come to the hips. And inhale with the heart, draw the shoulders onto the back and root down into the foundation, opening just a little. Draw your right heel in halfway and turn the toes out to the right. And setting up for warrior two. So we can lift the arms up to the side and lengthen the side body long. And then exhale, bend the right knee into warrior two. Keep that right knee turning out just a little bit towards the pinky toe. And draw your left hand back so that your shoulder is aligned with your hips. Feel that power. Hug your feet towards each other energetically and feel the firming of your legs, the heat and power in this stance. Fingers spread wide. Let your intention be one of warrior energy. You take the left hand to the back thigh. The front palm faces up and reverse your warrior. Keep bending into the front knee. Even as you lift your energy to touch the infinite for a moment, or two, or three. Coming back to warrior two. On the inhale, we're going to straighten the right leg and give ourselves a hug. Exhale, return to warrior two. Inhale, wrap your arms around each other, taking the opposite arm on top. Exhale. And in this way, drawing some love towards the light that is within us. It needs our attention sometimes. And sometimes it just needs a hug. A reminder that we do believe in ourselves. Let this be a flow, light and love for you. And coming back to warrior two, standing strong. Full breath. And exhale. Straighten the right leg. Turn the feet in parallel. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, bow forward halfway so the hands come down on fingertips. And tilt the pelvis forward to get a curve in the lower back. Hug the core in just a little. And then release all the way down. Release the head, release the neck. Find balance in the weight that you're placing on your feet, which might take a little bit of experimenting. I tend to sit back on my heels. If I rock a little bit, I can find that equilibrium. And breathe here several times. And bending knees, bring your hands to your hips and rise up. Turn the heels in or draw them in so that your toes are pointing out at a 45-degree angle. We're going to bring the arms up and out into a big star pose. Open the heart. Bring your gaze all the way up and hug in the energy, but then soften and release out through the fingertips, out through the toes, like you're shining your light, shining it out for all the world to see. And exhale. Bring the hands to the hips. Square the feet, and we'll set up for warrior two on the other side. Draw the left heel in halfway, turn the toes out. Creating an outer spiral, just a little bit with the left leg. Bring the arms up at the sides, and then inhale and lengthen, and exhale and bend into warrior two. Bending the left knee deeply. Hug that energy in, and then soften a little bit into the space of the warrior. Feel your power. Feel your fire and solar plexus and radiate it out to the far reaches, your fingers, your toes, crown of the head. Then take your back hand to rest on the thigh, the front arm flip so the palm's facing up, and reverse your warrior. Keep bending into the front knee, hugging that energy in, and then softening. Come back to warrior two. Fingers spread wide. Remember your light, your power. Straighten the front leg, parallel the feet, and you can hop, step back into the center. And just release a little bit. Here's Shiva coming.
Remember the 5th of November.
Remember. No, that's a different yoga class. Just take a moment and breathe. Feel your fire, connect to that space of power within you. And breathe some loving intention into that space. Keep the eyes closed or soft for a moment. And release the hands down. We have one more pose with heat, and then maybe two, and then we'll start cooling down. Not losing the fire, but just losing a little bit, not losing, but drawing our kind of really, really fiery practice into a softer, gentler. So I'm going to come to downward facing dog. Find your way, however you like. And you're going to come to the outer edge of the left foot and take the right foot and stack it on top of the left foot. Your right leg stacked on the left leg for side plank. This is a very fiery pose. This is keeping the hips lifted and the core really engaged. It's a pose where we draw a lot of energy to that center space. So breathe here. Feel that fire and reach it all the way through your being, using that heat to keep yourself lifted in Nashistasana. If you like, you can even lift the right leg a little bit, lower, a couple times, even captured on Helen Wolf Yoga video. And then release down, come back to downward facing dog. Return to your breath. I'm just going to turn around so you can see me on the other side. I'm going to repeat that on the other side. We're just going for it. I didn't do a kind of first or second level Nashistasana. I just went for it. But you can feel free to vary your side plank in whatever way feels nourishing for you. I'm going to go ahead and move into Nashistasana on the other side. So my legs are stacked. And my hip wants to come down. So I want to counter that by lifting it and hugging my energy to the center. Keeping the hip lifted. My left arm lifted. My feet engaged. Toes spread wide. Legs firm. Muscles firm. Lots of muscle energy here. Whew. And then exhale, lower down, come to child's pose. Feel that heat moving through your body. And remembering Manipura with your abdomen gently compressing into the thighs. It's like a bowed reverence to our light. Lifting up, just sitting on the back of the heels for a moment. The hands come up on fingertips. We're going to do just a little gentle back bend to stretch and open the heart. Shining our light a little bit more to the outer world. So far we've been really kind of channeling that inner fire and that inner heat in our body, but maybe the next step is to kind of share a little bit of that light that we're creating, maybe with someone we love, someone we've never met, or just out into the ethos and where it goes. Who knows, but there's magic there anyway. So bringing the hands up on fingertips, we're going to draw them back, and then keeping on fingertips, draw the shoulders onto the back, lift the heart, lift the hips, draw the head back. Keep the knees drawing together in that inner spiral. And then exhale. The hands come back to the side. We're going to do that 2 more times. Fingertips drawing back, shoulders on the back. Inhale the heart, inhale the hips. Hug the knees together. Root the tops of the feet into the earth, and maybe even draw the thighs and hips forward a little bit more. And then exhale and release. 1 more time. Fingertips come back, shoulders on the back. The heart already wants to lift up and shine out. Feel that light and imagine it just shining forth out in every direction. And then exhale and come back. Come to sit with the feet forward, knees bent. You might kind of have a tendency to round the back here. So I recommend is taking your hands on fingertips on either side of the hip and lifting them, drawing the hips back a little bit. And then when you lift up, you get a bit of a natural curve. Got the shoulders onto the back. We're going to move into Navasana, or boat pose. Another core, a little bit of core work here, a little bit of fire. So, ready? We're going to straighten and lift the legs. Draw the back, your shoulders and your body back a little bit, but keeping the pelvis tilted forward, engaging the core. We draw the arms out to the side. Fingers spread wide. I'm trembling a lot. I don't do this pose a lot. Release and come back. You can also do this pose from a supine position, which uses a lot of core energy also. But for now, let's bring the arms to the side, draw back, lift the legs, hug the core, flex the feet, firm the muscles in your thighs, spread the fingers wide, feel that heat and that energy, and release down. Breathe. We're going to do one more time, that auspicious triad that we do so often. So we're going to, again, arms come to the side, legs straighten, just going for it. And release. Can lie back. Release the legs down. Allow that flame to soften a little bit. The real heated portion of the practice has come to an end. Now we're just going to gently keep the flame burning, but not too strong. Just enough to keep the heat in the body, that light that we've been creating. You can draw the knees into the chest. Then hug your arms around and rock from side to side. Release the tension, lower back in the hips. Give yourself a good squeeze, a really good hug. Be your own full contact for a moment. And then release the feet and take them as wide as the mat, knees still bent. The arms come out to the side. And keeping the right knee and foot firmly rooted in place, so the knee is pointing up to the sky, we're going to take the left knee down towards the right foot. The tendency can be to kind of like open the right knee to the side, but you want to really keep rooted down to the big mound of the right foot, keeping the knee in place. You can take the left arm up by the head and reach as you reach the left knee. And then release, bring the left knee up, and we'll do that on the other side. So the right knee comes down to the left foot and left ankle, right arm up by the ear. And just stretch. And return to center. Now we can allow both knees to come down. Just a little bit of like just a little windshield wiper action with the knees. Releasing tension in the body, allowing for softening. Reducing the intensity of the flame of that heat a little bit as well. And then coming back, the arms come to the side. Stretch the legs long. And we're going to do a full body stretch before coming to Shavasana. So you can soften and then inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Stretch with the fingers, stretching through the toes. You can even draw the toes back so the heels stretch and stretch a little bit of the calves as well and rock back and forth that way. Before exhaling to windmill the arms back over to the side. We'll do that 2 more times, following your own breath and your own rhythm, your own light. You're worthy and inherently powerful. Remember. Remember this as we come to Shavasana. And feel free to keep that heat that we've been creating with external props like socks, sweaters, blankets, whatever you need to be able to experience a nourishing Shavasana. I have lots of extra dog fur on my socks to help hold that heat in. So handy. But take a time. There's no hurry. And part of knowing that you are worthy and worthwhile is really honoring these ministrations, these actions that nourish. The more we can nourish our light, the more we're able to share it with others. Because we have light to share. Allow yourself to respond to that soft cushion of earth beneath you. Allow it to hold you. Allow your whole body to just melt into that space. Your shining light, like a little floating orb, just hovering in connection with the earth. Durga, 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 Jai Jai Ma. 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 Durga, Jai Jai Ma. Durga, Jai Jai Ma. Slowly begin to come back into the body, finding your way with the breath as your guide. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling, breathing light and love through your whole being. And taking gentle movements as you begin to awaken back to this moment. There's no hurry. And as you're ready, eventually on an exhale, drawing the knees in towards the chest, rolling to the right side. And pausing for a moment. And Manipura, right arm, cradling your head and neck. And using your hands to lift yourself back to a seated position. Bringing this practice full circle and coming into a space of readiness for your next practice off the mat. So sit well. Keep the eyes closed or soft. Bring your hands to heart center. And inhale, breathing in through that space in the solar plexus all the way up into the heart and the hands. Shoulders coming onto the back. And bow to your light. The light within me sees and honors the light within you. Thank you for sharing this practice and for sharing your light. Namaste.